But I was also gonna ask you like two things. I was gonna ask how long you've been doing your channel because I only met you a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I was also gonna ask like what are some movies that you had been like watching just for fun like the last couple nights?
Oh, cool. All right. So I actually started my channel January of last year. So January of 2020. I started it again, not to get into the conversation again, but because I needed an outlet. I wanted to talk movies with people. And I kind of didn't know how to manage my YouTube account. And so I went, Jace, I called you Jace. Too close of a name, Trace.
All right.
I I literally went months with not having subscribers because I wasn't putting myself out there. My
Mhm.
supporters were literally like my mom, my brother, my wife, because I didn't know that you had to like put yourself out there, and then people subscribe to you, you subscribe to them, and so I went such a long time, like hardly any subscribers, because I didn't know how to manage that. But yeah, it's January of 2020.
Awesome. Yeah, you started in me, well, me and you, but you started before me, it sounds like, because I started in October. But we both started in a year where there was essentially no new movies. So what were your first couple videos like? Because there was no movies to review.
It's funny because I started in January, Trace. So
You had like
it
Birds of
was,
Prey to talk about.
yeah,
You
the
had
movies were still coming out. You know, I had Sonic, I had Birds of
Sonic.
Prey,
Yeah,
Guy Ritchie's film, The Gentleman.
I didn't like that. Yeah.
I was okay with it. I was all right with it. Let's see. Bloodshot was the last one I saw before the theater shut down.
Hmm.
I hated Bloodshot.
I didn't finish it.
Oh, good. Good on you. What was the second question? Oh, what films I've been
Yeah,
watching
like
or
for
like.
fun. Yeah. The last couple of nights.
So I've actually been introducing my wife to my favorite director, Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
And so we have been watching Tarantino's movies whenever we have the time to sit down for 2.5 hours and check a movie out. So this past weekend, we saw both Kill Bills.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are some of my favorites. I consider them one movie. So like if someone asks me like Quentin Tarantino movies, I'll just say Kill Bill, but like I mean both of them. Are you guys going in order of all his
Yeah,
films in order?
we're going in chronological order. So we finally finished the Kill Bills, and these are the first two films, or one film, Kill Bill, that my wife actually likes because she doesn't like the other three.
She didn't like Pulp Fiction. She
No,
didn't like Reservoir Dogs.
she hated it.
What was the third one? He
Jackie
did.
Brown. Jackie
Yeah,
Brown.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Jackie Brown either.
I like Jackie Brown. Not gonna lie.
I mean, film is subjective. It wasn't for
Yeah.
me. You
No,
know,
yeah, I got you.
another one that like the movie as a whole would be like I would rank it lower, but there are some really good scenes in it, if that makes sense. Like some of his best scenes, but the movie
Uh,
as a whole is kind of is Inglorious Bastards.
whoa, really?
Yeah, so I'm not saying it's like a dumpster fire,
Oh
but the
yeah.
movie as a whole would not be in like my top 3 or 5 Tarantino films, but he has some of the best scenes of his filmography in there. One that I really like is obviously the opening
Yeah.
with Christoph Waltz. The opening is really good, so strong
Tension.
opening. And I really like the scene where they're interrogating the Nazi, and Brad Pitt is basically saying like, "Listen, show us on the map where everything is, or else my friend's gonna come out here and you're gonna die, and it's not gonna be pleasant." And he basically says, "F you, like whatever, blah 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 blah." And then the guy, I think it was Zachary Quinto, comes out with the baseball bat.
Yes.
Do you remember the nickname they gave him?
The Bear Jew.
Oh, the Bear Jew. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
The Bear Jew.
I
Yeah.
like I like that scene too. Yeah.
Dude, I really like Inglorious Bastards. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a
But
little surprised by your take there.
would that be in your top three?
Top three, maybe top five, maybe top five, because I do think I'm rewatching them again. But
Yeah.
just as we stand, I do like Django a lot more than Inglorious Bastards.
Django's definitely in the top three.
Yeah.
Another one that's probably in like my lower tier, but it has some really good scenes, but the movie as a whole is kind of bloated, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Um, Unfortunately, I feel like that a lot of that was like it's not even fan service. It was Quentin service. Like he did certain stuff for himself in that movie. Like he didn't care about the fans. He was like, I want this part in the movie, even though it doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah.
Or I want this part to be 10 minutes, even though it could be five. Like it's like stuff like that.
I remember my wife came with me to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the movies. That was her first Tarantino movie, and I was hyping him up. And so after the movie, I'm like, oh, like this is not the best Tarantino film. I'm sorry, like this is
I'm
how
sorry that I did that to you.
yeah, because it's very bloated.
Yeah.
It's charming. It's charming as hell, and I can appreciate it for that. I think it is rewatchable. I enjoy those scenes of like the long drives and the dialogue. Of course, Quentin's writing is awesome. But man, is it bloated? I agree.
Well,
Quick, I have a hot take. I don't know how you'll feel about me after this.
okay.
I saw the Goonies a couple of months ago.
Awesome. You don't
Is
like
it?
it?
Is it
You don't like
awesome?
it?
It's no, yeah, like I like it. I like it, Trace. I don't get I don't think it's like the best movie ever, like everybody, you know?
It's a classic.
I can see how people think that, and I would never argue someone on that. Like it's beyond me. But for my opinion, I think it's okay. It's good.
Okay, so let me follow up with that. First, how old are you?
I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in November.
Now that I know that we're the same age, did you grow up with watching the Goonies as a kid?
No,
Or
no.
okay, so maybe that's part of it because when I was watching the Goonies as a kid, I was seeing these kids. Obviously, the movie came out like 10 or 15 years before I was born, maybe. It was in the 80s.
Yeah,
But I'm watching these kids the same age that I am do this big adventure and I'm like, man, like they're my age. I want to do an adventure like this. Like, you get that mentality. So maybe like growing up as that age that the kids were that I was watching the movie, I was like relating that, oh, like, oh, I could I want to find a pirate ship and like so, and then from there I grew up rewatching it over and over and over, where you watched it for the first time as an adult.
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. It definitely plays a part. And I believe in the power of nostalgia. That's 100%. There's a couple movies that I'm nostalgic for that maybe people, this is the big one. Is Star Wars, because I grew up on Star Wars
Yeah.
and I adore Star Wars. But if you're an adult, and I've tried to get people into Star Wars as an adult, and it doesn't play off good.
Which Star Wars did you grow up like? What is your trilogy?
Well, my trilogy is your trilogy, which is the prequels, right?
Okay, so I grew up watching the originals and
So
then and
sorry. I also grew up with the originals as well. I had them on VHS.
okay.
I thought you meant like what we grew up through, because we,
Yeah,
we grew up with the prequels.
so technically, yes, we grew up with the prequels in our age frame, but I grew up watching the originals first. And there's some people that they're our age, they grew up watching the prequels first and then going back and watching the originals. And then they're like, oh, well, the prequels had, guys doing backflips and, they had spaceships, that looked better and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Have you met people like that, Trace? Like people that have they
Only
saw
on
the
the
prequels
internet.
and then the originals?
Oh, actually, okay. So on the internet, yes, but my friend in real life, Andre, um, so like 2 years ago, I was dog sitting at this place, and he came over and we binge watched all the Star Wars movies, and he was asking me to skip the originals. He was like, "Can we just get to the prequels because those ones have more action?" And I was like, "Whoa, what?" Like he did not like watching the older the original. He was like, "They're too old. I want to watch the new ones."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. How?
he's a
Listen,
weird kid.
I don't hate the prequels. I actually quite like the prequels more than the next guy. But the originals, man.
Not for him. I don't know. Well, what do you want to end with? Do you have anything that you want to end with?
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Anything at all?
Let me okay. Are you into like awards season? Like are you into the Oscars, Academy Awards?
Not really. Like, I pay attention obviously to like the big ones, like who wins best actor, director, stuff like the big ones. But I don't watch, and just because I have a YouTube channel, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to watch every single small indies thing that comes out because honestly, like you can shame me if you want, but I like the bigger stuff. I'm really not like a smaller indie type of guy for the
No
movies. So like
shame.
in a video, like some of my friends in real life, they don't understand that making a video to the quality that you're happy with before putting it out there, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And like I think some of my friends in real life think that I can just like pull a video out of my ass within like an hour. And I could do that, but I'm not gonna like I'm actually not probably gonna like what I put out, but I could put something out in under an hour. I'm just not gonna it's not gonna be the quality that I want it to be. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on a video for a movie for a genre that I'm really not that interested in.
No shame, no shame. On my end, I love awards season. I'm all into that stuff. But let me ask you a question to end like really like nice on. Where did your love of movies start? Like who introduced you to them?
Okay, so I think it's not like one person who introduced me to them. It was more of like it was like a family bonding thing. So now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of got it on like both sides because my parents are divorced. So when I was with my mom, every single Sunday, literally up until COVID, every single Sunday, me, my mom, and my stepdad would go over to my grandma's. We'd have dinner and we would watch a family movie tonight or together. And them being adults and me being a kid, I usually got to watch adult movies. And so like as a younger kid, I got to watch like war movies and like stuff with a lot of action and stuff. So I got kind of lucky with that because not every kid is in that position. And then with my dad, I would go see him on the weekends, and our thing was to go to the movies. That was like our thing. And that was our thing up until I was like 18. And then, working and girlfriend and stuff like that, we haven't been able to keep that momentum going of every single week. But yeah, so I like wherever I was surrounded by movies. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool, man. That's so cool.
What about you?
Um, mine it's similar, like with the whole family bonding type thing, but it was more my mom. Like I told you earlier, how I don't really have people to talk to about film.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like with my mom, she doesn't really follow films anymore. But back in the day, she was the one that got me into film. My love of film started with her because she would always show me films like you, dude. I was, I think, 4 or 5, and I was watching Forrest Gump. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Well, before I let you go, one more time, tell everyone where you're at online. And dude, seriously, thank you so much for being on here.
awesome, man. Thank you for having me, man. This is so much fun. I mean, I could do this for hours. I do it for hours on Friday. I can do it for hours every single day, honestly, man.
Snarare det är också bundsut.